agency to come and assist Fort Stewart with any sort of situation, but see, that many in one place is certainly a rarity. On my way down here, I've seen forgive me, it's not Georgia State Patrol, it's not Motor Vehicle Compliance, it's that new state agency. I've also seen Savannah police out here. We know Bryan County deputies have sent at least 5 deputies out here to Fort Stewart, and we know Richmond Hill police have sent additional officers. This is an all hands on deck effort, and as Brooke mentioned and I mentioned in my first hit, Fort Stewart is far away from everything else. It is going to take time for these additional law enforcement officers to get here, and that's it's time that these law enforcers here on Fort Stewart just don't have. And so you're going to see, I've seen several Facebook posts of folks saying, why do I see a bunch of Savannah police officers here in Liberty County? Well, you see that because of what's called mutual aid agreements. It's in these sort of situations where you have these big deal situations where you as one department can't cover it on your own. You're going to need the help of your brothers and sisters in blue from other agencies that can come and assist, and that is what's happening here. So, if you live around the area and you've seen cops that you don't normally ever see, that is likely why they are in this area at this point. But I'm going to flip around one more time and give you another look of this this main gate here at Fort Stewart. I'm going to zoom in, and you can see that well, you can see there's really no one in line because they have blocked off the entire entrance, this main gate here outside of Fort Stewart, here at Gate 1, I believe. We've seen lots of law enforcement officers, and we anticipate that will continue. We've also seen several ambulances running away, or driving away, I should say, from Fort Stewart with their license sirens on. That would indicate to me that they do have a patient inside. Here's a Hinesville police officer leaving the scene. All these cops leaving certainly sounds like a good thing, but we just don't know what's happening inside there. We are waiting follow-up information from Fort Stewart, Hinesville Police, the Liberty County Sheriff. We've reached out to all these different agencies to try and get some sort of information. As I turn around right here, I see another one of our crews pulling up in the parking lot here. We are bringing all of our team out here to cover this story the best that we can, to get you that information as quickly as we can, because we know in these situations, if you have someone that works or lives on Fort Stewart, you want answers just as we do, because this is a very scary situation, not knowing what is actually going on inside. For now, we're going to stay out here at Fort Stewart, and we'll be back in just a moment.
So much for that live report and all of those updates. Clear for now. Earlier, the Governor Bryan Kemp released posted this on close contact with law enforcement on the ground. Saddened by today's tragedy at Fort Stewart, we're keeping the victims, their families, and all those who answer the call to serve in our hearts and prayers, that Georgians everywhere do the same. Now, I do want to quickly mention there are 2 other statements that we recently got a hold of. Representative Buddy Harder is now weighing in on this situation. I'm going to be reading his statement. So again, if you see me looking down, that is why. He said, quote, I am monitoring the situation at Fort Stewart. Please join me in prayers for the casualties, their families, and the brave law enforcement officers working to protect our community. And I also just want to mention that FBI Atlanta just released a statement. They said, quote, FBI Atlanta Savannah office is aware of the incident at Fort Stewart, coordinating with Army Criminal Investigation Division for any assistance that might be needed.
Just pull in right behind
Further questions should be directed to Army Public Affairs, and of course we are in touch with them. And again, I do want to play you some 911 audio that we got just moments after this active shooting incident occurred, so take a listen.
Max Station 1, mutual aid request for
one. They've got us. They've got us. Yeah, I'm ready when you are, Kate. I'm going to step out of the way and try and show the front entrance. Kate, I'm ready. Come back to me. Yeah, in the last just few minutes, probably the last 2 minutes, it seems actually to some degree that lockdown, and I want to stress that I don't know this, I'm just telling you what I see. It seems that lockdown may be lifted. I want to step out of the way so my photographer Dan can give you a better look at that gate area, and I'm not sure you may be even able to see from where you are, but you can see that some people have moved those traffic cones that you saw in my last hit away from the road and are now letting cars that seem to be civilian vehicles back onto the base. Now, we know that this, in these sort of situations, there is a heightened security situation, so we know that they're going to be rechecking these cars, and we anticipate that there may be traffic because of those additional security screens coming back in here onto the base. But it seems, at least with what we're seeing here outside of this main gate, that the lockdown has to some degree lifted. We knew that it was a pretty intense lockdown when I first got out here about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour ago. There was security here. In fact, they had just set up here in this intersection and were directing traffic. When I first got here, the main gate was completely full and they had cars going all the way down this road waiting to get on the base. But then about 10 minutes after I got in, probably an hour ago, maybe 40 minutes ago at this point, that is when they just shut that entire gate off. At this point, I actually see police here. Do you have any updates for us, sir? 1 second, guys. I'm going to stay on the air just 1 sec. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Is there any information you can share with us or anything like that? Okay, okay. Well, we'll wrap up this hit and we'll get... It's the Ag Center, you said?
Yeah, the Ag Center, the big building right there.
Gotcha.
Down here, take a left.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we actually just had an officer come up to us and tell us that Fort Stewart has actually asked us to leave this area here. Now, we're on a public sidewalk, as we would be at any other crime scene. They really can't kick us off of where we're at, but we are going to go there to try and get some more information in these sort of situations. We may get a press conference or something to that degree. So, again, just to kind of wrap up here, we are outside of the gate at Fort Stewart, where it seems they have reopened the gate to some degree. They are letting some folks back in, but we know this is a continually developing situation, and that could change at any moment. We'll continue to stay out here and bring you the latest. For now, I'm Andy Coulter, JCL 22 News.